G'day, welcome to Midweek Musings episode 16. It's so good to have you yet again. I wanted to start this week with some competition winners. I must admit I'm a little bit late on the prize delivery, but just wanted to let Kev know that his Kit Kat is coming soon. So he won the Cutaway competition. I also want to let Phoebe Bennett know she won the random references competition with Elizabeth Bennett. So she's got this Daryl Lee Rocky Road coming up. Daryl Lee, I will accept free products. I'm not for sale, but I kind of am. Andrew Hall won Pennant Parade with the Cutaway competition last week. And sad to say, nobody won the random reference. I made reference to Bluey and Bingo, and they're from the ABC Emmy award-winning kids show called Bluey. Man, and because of that, because I just said that, I win, so I get this. So it's worth competing because you could get Daryl Lee. Just in case you're watching, Daryl, I'm here for you. Anyway, they're on special this week at Coles. Not that I'm cheap, and that's why I bought them. So anyway, compete this week. This week our Cutaway competition isn't a street, it's actually a seaside town. So someone has sent me a clip from their holidays. If you've got a little 10-second clip of where you've been, I'd love you to send it to me and I'll include it in the Cutaway competition. So this is from a New South Wales coastal town, not Victorian, it's from New South Wales. Can you guess? So look for that cutout. And in terms of the random reference, just keep listening out for hints. Dwight, the assistant to the regional manager from a company somewhere nearby, loved last week's random references, but see if you can pick out this week's. Okay, now to the substance of Midweek Musings, if there is any substance, but there is today because I'm interviewing Ros Harrison. I've known Ros for a long time, but as I talked to her, I found out some really new and interesting stuff, and she's always great to talk to, some great tips on walking with God and serving Him. So I look really forward to bringing that chat to you. And also we've got Andrew Hall's Fudge Brownies. So they look delicious. So again, the idea is to cook them up, particularly for Sunday morning as you watch online church, or Sunday night, whenever you watch it. Or you can cook them up and deliver them to someone who might need a bit of encouragement. Just check their dietary requirements first. Or you can just cook them up and eat them yourself. It's up to you. Anyway, that's enough talking for now. Here is Midweek Musings. Hope you enjoy. Hi Ros, welcome to Midweek Musings.
Hello Nath.
It's great to have you. Could you start by sharing a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well look, I was born so far away from Epping, in Beecroft.
Wow, yes.
Family of 5 girls, and I did the Beecroft Primary School and the Cheltenham Girls High School thing. Came down here to Epping in my 4th year at Cheltenham, so when I was about 16.
So as a high school student?
Yes, yeah. So Suzanne Reedman invited me to come down to Epping, and I was blessed with a family who was able to travel. So I had the chance to live and go to school in Jordan and in Pakistan, and then later I had the chance myself to go and visit Canada and teach over in Canada. So it's like the world opened up to me.
That's amazing. Did your journey of mission, so it began here in this church?
It did actually begin here in this church.
Yeah, how did that happen? Could you?
Well, it was a combination. It was a Brian Willersdorf crusade that was held here that helped me to figure out I need Jesus as my Lord. He'd already become my saviour, but I needed him to be my Lord. And from there on in, there were sermons that were very mission focused, and I'd be sitting up the back, which is where all the young people were sitting at that time, but they were really impacting. There was a missionary fellowship that used to happen here, and I would go along to that, and really mission was focused on each of the different parts of the world where God was working. It just, again, opened up mission to me, that missionary fellowship. And what helped, of course, also was that my stepmom was an OMF missionary. She had worked in Thailand before she'd married my dad. So that also enabled me to see, that mission could become a part of my life.
Wow. So was it almost like God had woven together your life story, this international travel?
Yes.
And the people he brought into your life?
Exactly. And then gradually I started to realise that what I needed to do, what my life needed to be all about, was to help people to find Jesus. That more important than teaching, more important than any other thing that I might be doing, it was people needed to find Jesus. That was going to be the thing I wanted to be involved with most.
How much was that an act of surrender versus an act of joy? Was there part of you that said, I want to do this is what I'd love to do, this is what God has made me to do, but another side of you that had to surrender parts of your life plan?
Sure, absolutely. It was quite a significant decision that I gave up permanent employment with the Department of Education. I needed to make that decision. I needed to say, yes, I will move away from something so secure and with such a future as to follow the leading that God is giving me. But at the same time, I was so excited about that there was a way of being involved full time in serving God in this way. That sure, there really wasn't anything stacked up against it very much.
Yeah. So it led to a lifetime of mission in East Asia.
Yeah.
And a partnership with Epping Baptist Church that has lasted decades. Can I ask how long that partnership has been?
Well, I entered into it in 1987, so about 33 years. Yeah.
And what did that make possible? Like, you could have just gone off by yourself.
I could have.
But what has it meant to partner, and what does it make possible?
Yeah. Oh, look, it's been enormously confirming that my church would come in agreement with me, that this was the direction that God wanted me to take. That was enormously confirming, and then so encouraging, because while I was overseas working in East Asia, numbers of my colleagues, their churches seemed to collapse or split or just moved away from supporting them. But Epping has just been so consistently involved in committed support.
Yeah.
It has been enormously encouraging. And I've really tested that because I wasn't going with the Baptist mission organisation,
Yes, yeah.
But there wasn't a problem that was what I was going to do, going with OMF. And there wasn't a problem that when I came home and was working here, the church continued to provide support. So it's been enormously encouraging, and it's given me a firm base to jump off of into the work.
And what's been beautiful from my point of view, I've almost been here 20 years now, is the way you've partnered, invested back in our church. That has been, it hasn't been one way by any stretch. You've always loved and cared for and prayed for the people of EBC in quite an extraordinary way. So we thank you.
Thank you.
So I hear like transition is ahead for you. Can you tell us about that?
Well, it's taken a little while to come to, but I am going to be retiring from OMF at the end of this year, so November 30. I'm in the process of handing over my 2 jobs, and I'll finish up those jobs at the end of September, and then I'll have some long service leave to go say thank you to my supporters around Australia. And then I'll be looking to God for what He wants me to be doing. I'm a coach, I'm a counsellor, so how does He want me to be involved in continuing that in the years to come? I am working here. I've got, involvements here with Playtime and with the mission support team and with the Tuesday prayer and with, other things that become possible.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited.
Yeah.
There's so much that could happen.
Well, I've heard that one thing is on the move already, and that's the mission to Molong. Can you tell us a bit about what that is and how people can help?
Oh, yeah. Well, it began with our initial visit to Molong, where we had the opportunity of really supporting the community in one small way through the drought. And then after that, and time went by, I realised, well, look, the drought is continuing. It's like not over. How can we express our ongoing support? So in a conversation I had with actually Andrew and Ros, it emerged that there might be a way of contributing some things to the community up there that they would have not otherwise had. So we're going back August the 3rd, going back, and there's a group of us going to drive the items up that they've said that they would like. So some food for the church, the Baptist Church's food bank. We can contribute food to that because there's been so many families who've taken advantage of that just in the small amount of time it's been available. It's really scratching where there's an itch. And there's also an opportunity to take things up to the Vinnies up there. And the lady up there, Mary, she is so aware of the needs of the community. She really knows who is in a position of desperate need. So she's very generous. She's given us a list of what we need to take up. So looking forward to taking the things that we at Epping can share with the folks at Molong.
That's great, Ros. It seems as I've just briefly listened to your life, there's been this theme of God's mission. So what is it about God? I know this is a big question just to dump on you, but what is it about God that's enabled you to trust Him with your life?
That's such a good question. I think the gradual realisation over the years that God is love. It's not that He loves only. It's not that He wants us to love, but He Himself is love. And so He operates out of that total environment of love. And the other wonderful thing that I came to quite a while ago now is that He totally understands me. He knows me through and through, and He understands me through and through like nobody else does. And He loves me and accepts me as I am. So why not say to Him, you can take my life and do what you want with it? Because He's going to have the best plan for my life, because He understands me so completely and He loves me.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to us today.
Thank you for letting me.
To the hall home. We're going to be doing chocolate brownies with raspberries and walnuts in it. So I've got a cup full of ordinary granulated sugar, 3/4 a cup of flour, self-raising flour, 1/4 a cup of cocoa powder, 80 grams of butter, 125 grams of fresh raspberries, although you can use frozen, a cup of walnuts, 2 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence, about 80 grams of melted chocolate, and a lined 8-inch tin, and half a teaspoon of salt, and I use baking wrap just to line the tin quite simply. If I'm not going to use walnuts and raspberries, you could put in half to 3/4 of a cup of choco bits, any colour you like, white, milk or dark, but we'll get to that in a moment or two. So I'm going to put the sugar and the butter in and whisk it. I've added in 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence, and I'm going to add in 2 eggs. Probably best not to put the shell in. Oops. Just missed that one. There we go. 3/4 of a cup of flour. Sprinkle that around. 1/4 of a cup of chocolate cocoa. And then you can add your chocolate, and I'm going to whisk it. And I continue to mix it until it goes to a lighter colour, like so. So the brownie's out of the oven after cooking it at 175 centigrade for approximately half an hour. It will sink down, and if you're thinking of doing the brownies for church, then probably best to leave the walnuts out of it. So after letting it cool for about 15 minutes, lift it out of the tin and cut it into perhaps 20 pieces. You can cut the edges off, or indeed keep the edges on as a crisp side. There they are in the cooling rack. Leave them for half an hour to totally cool before you pack them all out. And so we're ready for morning tea. Chocolate brownies with raspberries and walnuts.